The Rusty Gatenby Review with Melinda Jacobs would once again, as always, like to thank our studio sponsors, MacMen. They'll help you out with all your Apple computer needs.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
There's seating near the front.
Makes you just want to lay out, right? Relax in the sun, this song, this music. I can tell you, Melinda, I've been waiting all summer long for my friend, Mike Binkley, to join us in the studio, and it happened.
I'm so excited. We go back 20 years.
Yeah, we do, from the
Yes.
my early time at KSTP.
I know.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the Rusty Gatenby Review with Melinda Jacobs. Of course, Jennifer here, my fiance. Melinda, my lovely co-host, and my former work buddy, but still my buddy.
Oh, yeah.
Still my friend.
Great to see you again.
Mike Binkley. Yeah, great to see you. How often do you get out to this part of the woods? I know you're all over the state.
Yeah, I am. I travel Minnesota with WCCO, Finding Minnesota. My segments also go into the lake franchise that we have.
There's a lake here.
I
Right
found,
there. Guess
found
what?
this one.
Nobody can be on that lake but
Is
us.
that right?
Oh, yeah.
It's exclusive.
That's right. That's
Very
how this
exclusive.
podcast rolls.
That's
Oh,
right.
exactly.
So yeah, you've been traveling all. In fact, you were working hard the last couple of days. Park Rapids, Ely?
Park Rapids, going to the lake with Liz Collin and our wonderful crew at WCCO. We spent a couple of days there. They had us involved with water wars in downtown Park Rapids, where we were blasting some other people with fire hoses.
Ooh.
We were throwing axes. We were shooting bows and arrows.
Does it hurt? By
This
the way,
sounds like
those-
my last contract negotiation.
Oh, great. Does it hurt though when those fire hoses hit you?
Yes, I was.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Yes, and it was cold. You know, we were rushed into this thing, and we're walking up, and somebody distinctly said, "You're not going to get that wet." So we're over here. There's another team over here, and in between there's a barrel that you're shooting at, to try and move it to one side or the other. It's kind of a tug of war.
Right.
We got drenched from the first second, and it was cold.
It was a wet anchor T-shirt contest. That's what it ended up being. Hey, before we move along, I know it might be old news, but I wanted to give props. I don't know if you've seen it, but Mike, you saw a video that's gone viral involving Kevin Love.
Yes.
The
The Jersey burning.
yes, like in the first 2 days, this video. In fact, we'll let you take a peek at it right now. 1.5 million people within 2 days clicked on this video, and the idea being that Minnesota nice, we say we're going to burn the jersey, but we're just too nice.
Well, he's such a nice guy, He gave us a few good years.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of those things where everyone goes, oh, you should do a viral video. It's not that easy to just go, I'm going to do a viral video. Anyway, Melinda, you're going to recognize one of the guys works on the Tom Bernard Network. In fact, the guy who directed, I believe, what was his name, Mike Branby?
Let's see here. He is. I just remember he's like, I am a comedian.
So, remember him? He helped you
Oh,
walk in?
yes,
Yeah.
I do. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah.
You are full of surprises, aren't you?
So, congratulations, they got a viral video. You should here they are, they're pretending to burn the jersey.
That's about as violent as they're going to get.
Because we're nice, don't you know?
And I have to say, that is not an easy thing to get a viral video.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. No, I totally agree.
It clearly touched a nerve. Everybody remembers, of course, the LeBron jersey
Leitner!
burning.
Oh my God,
Oh,
Christian
they-
Leitner! I
they-
loved Christian.
They virtually burned his jersey, too.
No!
They couldn't actually burn it
He
because.
gave me a really good interview. I'm very upset by this whole video. I can't look at
Anyway,
it
congratulations. Minnesota's got a viral video. And you're right, it's not that easy to do. Well, speaking of the internet, for this show, we're going to surprise you, Mike, with some stuff. But one of the things we all know, Mike is a real nice guy and a talented anchor.
Oh, geez.
And a good, loving husband. But here's what I didn't know. Listen to this.
And that's also the case with our elected officials. They must earn the right to serve us. My friend Mike Binkley, candidate for circuit court judge, has done just that. For
I did not know
33
this.
You've been-
years, he has
yeah.
I'll
served
vote for
our
you.
community with
You've been
wisdom
Googling me.
and integrity. Mike has the most experience in all areas of law, and he's the only candidate
Really?
with the right experience to be the best judge. I hope you
Wow.
cast your vote for Mike Binkley for circuit
I'm
court
voting.
judge.
I had no idea.
Please.
Thumbs up, baby.
Did you know there's another Mike Binkley?
I knew there's another Mike Binkley who was a politician. Is that out in California?
I think so, yeah.
I think so. But I had not seen Jeff Fisher endorsing Mike Binkley,
Yes.
so that's very impressive.
I'm all set to vote for you. You would be a heck of a judge.
Huh.
In fact, you found something. You were alerted to something that's a little awkward.
Are you talking
Melinda,
about?
this is what I was talking about. Well, Mike, you explain.
Okay, so it was a few weeks ago. I'm in the newsroom, and somebody comes up to me and says, there's this new movie out about men with small packages.
Penises.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're in it. It's called Unhung Hero. They said, it's just kind of, have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah. So should we show the trailer?
Yeah, go
so
ahead.
This is the topic, and the first face in the trailer is me.
All right, here's the trailer.
You know those kiss cams they have at sporting events?
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen them. Well, take a good look at what happened 2 days before Christmas.
A really embarrassing moment.
Hit YouTube on Monday.
You must feel like a real ass, man.
What the hell is wrong with you?
My name's Patrick Moot, and apparently I have a small penis.
She told me that one of the main reasons that she didn't think that we were right for each other was because my penis was a little too small for her.
What? Patrick and I had his first experience in the bedroom. I don't remember much. I thought we were just making out.
Sex is a very important part of a relationship.
Anybody says that size doesn't matter.
I don't think that size matters that much.
Guys with small dicks that say that.
I think that the men of the world deserve an answer to this question, and so I'm gonna find it with this documentary.
Who?
So at least it's not your package.
Yes, let's be clear about that. It's not about me.
Mike, it's a
per se.
podcast. Let's see the proof here. No? All right.
Drop trout now.
Yeah, let's do that.
So this guy, he's an actor. He's out in L.A. and they have kiss cam, where occasionally somebody does a proposal.
Right.
So this guy gets down on one knee and he says, "Will you marry me?" She says, "No." It's very embarrassing. The video goes viral, and he says it was because the excuse she gave is that he was too small.
Didn't bother Jennifer.
Okay.
Hey now.
So several morning shows, several newscasts had that story, including the WCCO morning show,
right.
and Angela and I were on there, and so they took a clip from that show, and it became kind of the start of the movie.
Yeah, we're going to talk about your working relationship with Angela, because in the industry it is kind of unique. The partnership that you have formed,
for so long.
For so long. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's go back to the gig that sent you all around Minnesota.
Finding Minnesota.
When I was, again, Googling you, YouTubing you, I saw you in the Aquacars.
Oh, yeah, one of the Amphicars.
What was that all about?
So that was one of my more recent Finding Minnesota reports I did. There, these Amphicars were made by a German company back in the 1960s, which failed after a couple of years because they're actually not very good cars and not very good boats. But there are a number of Minnesotans who still have these. There are maybe only 400 still in existence, but there's a group of Minnesotans in the southwest part of the metro that get together and go out on the lakes, and they love freaking people out, like on their, here we go. They love freaking people out on their paddle boards or their fishing boats, pulling up next to them. I loved this. This is one of those experiences, with my job that I never would have gotten to do, if I didn't do this feature.
And you ripped me off because I actually did this years ago when we did the morning show together.
Yeah.
Mine was a little different. Mine was up at Lake Vermilion, and the guy had the Amphicar. Is that what it is?
Amphicar.
Yeah.
Look at how cool that is.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
My God, that's amazing.
We need to get one. Melinda.
Melinda.
Right out
Let's
here.
get one.
On the exclusive lake out there.
Yes. Perfect. No?
No
All right.
comment, maybe,
But
perhaps.
they travel
We'll
in
see.
groups. Be prepared. You have to be very mechanical. They haven't made parts for these.
Oh,
in
that's me. I fit
decades.
right in there, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Melinda, open up the trunk.
Yes.
It's kind of.
I can run a blow dryer, okay? Is that
I don't see many of those around Minnetonka. What's been the coolest thing you've discovered when you get to travel?
I think one of the more memorable one is traveling up the North Shore. People travel up there and look for the waterfalls. The altitude is changing up there. They do have the Sawtooth Mountain Range, and everything is kind of rushing toward Lake Superior, and that creates a number of spectacular waterfalls. Sometimes it takes, a mile or two hiking into a state park off the beaten path, but we came up with some spectacular video. Photographer Tom Avilis and I. So that was very memorable. Very long day to do all of that, but it was great.
Yeah. And that is, you mentioned it, but that it is true. That is one of the coolest things about our gig. We
Absolutely.
We get paid to go explore this stuff. I'm of course, the entertainment kind of a guy. You did a nice series on the theaters as well.
Oh, in downtown Minneapolis, Hennepin Theater Trust.
Yeah, who put that together? It was so well done and edited. And
that's been a few years. I believe it was Tom Avilas. He's the photographer that I work with the most. But, there's so much history involved. I mean, we come and go from these theaters all the time and look around and we might admire them. But just to think of how far they've come and how they've evolved over the years, that was, I really enjoyed that one.
We're pretty fortunate to have such. Well, you got the Orpheum, like you show, the Orpheum
the State Theater, the Pantages.
Yeah. So gorgeous with their with the what do you want to say? Remodel that they did, or they brought it back to its pristine state, it seems.
Yeah, they had been shuttered there for a while. I mean, they boarded up and almost abandoned. The Pantages, it was interesting. The theater, the history of how it was a man theater. It was the first to show the sound of music, and that was the only place in the Twin Cities. Yeah, and it was abandoned for many years, but then reopened just within the past 10 years.
You threw me for a second when you said it was a man theater. I'm thinking the Chippendales or something.
That might have happened too.
All men, all day.
I didn't explore.
To the man theater.
I didn't explore that end.
Super, fantastic. What time is the man theater open?
I haven't heard you say Xerxes in a while.
Yeah. We're going to be talking movies. Melinda and I actually got to go to a screening of The Giver. Had you heard about The Giver?
I don't know that one.
And we hadn't either, had we?
No, I knew my daughter read the book.
Yeah.
And that's the most I knew about it.
Right. It's my daughter. It's required reading now in schools. Right. But how would you describe it?
Slow. I'm sorry, you fell asleep. I looked over. Okay, here's the deal. Rusty can't say this because he's a movie critic. I can. I looked over after 15 minutes. I see this. And I'm like, it's great. I got to make up for that. So I'm going to pay attention.
It's with Jeff Bridges, Meryl Streep.
Katie Holmes.
Yes, Katie Holmes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, I have seen a preview for that.
And we got to meet the two young actors at the Mall of America.
Yeah,
Very nice.
You know what, the premise, I love the premise of it.
But it's kind of, we've seen that premise a lot.
Right.
They have a future society where it's, they make it all perfect. Do you ever see Pleasantville?
Oh, yeah.
You know how it starts out in black and
white?
Yes. Yeah, this does the same thing, and then the character starts to realize, oh, there's more than this, And
then there's this baby. Okay, it's the baby that freaked me out. The baby makes it through thunderstorms, snow. You have to see it just to see the baby. I had to ask the actor that we interviewed. I'm like, what about the baby?
Yeah. I think my daughter might like it, who is 14 going on 15, because it was required reading. I think Melinda, what did you do on the way out? You grabbed a bunch of Giver stuff.
I love free stuff. I'm not going to lie. What? I can't believe you're busting me on this.
Melinda's like, take one. She's like, you mean one of each?
You mean one of each?
This is packaged string.
No, this is like... No, these are friendship bracelets. I thought party in the studio.
Okay. From The Giver.
So I'm giving.
So, wow, all right. Well, I guess, should we give these away to someone who wants?
Go for it.
All right.
Melinda, here's some string I'd like to give to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Mike, here's some nail polish I'd like to give to you.
That's my favorite color.
Actually, no, wait. We have to give him one for Angela. Let me just think here. Hang on.
One for Angela.
Angela. No, this is her color.
Angela Davis.
There we go. There we go. Oh, that's mine, sister. Right there.
Well,
all right.
So we're wrapping up summer here with the movie season, and I got a hold of Kevin McCarthy. He's an upcoming movie reviewer. He's on Fox and Friends. And he's really good. He's very passionate about the movies. So he's in L.A. right now, and another movie that's opening this weekend, The Expendables 3, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone, which... Oh. I never thought those... When I was a kid... What? You don't like Arnold?
No, I was just falling asleep. Arnold. I'm sorry.
Well, that happens all the time when I'm talking. When I was a kid, I never thought those two would ever do a movie together, so that element is kind of fun. Harrison Ford also joins Expendable 3 this time. Anyway, so I wanted to ask Kevin about Expendables and a little bit about the summer movies, and here's what Kevin had to say. Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, Rusty, what's going on, man? I miss you so much, buddy. We're out here doing Expendables 3 the new movie, Sylvester Stallone, you have Arnold Schwarzenegger, you have Mel Gibson, you have Terry Crews, huge cast, Jason Statham. Seeing all these actors in one movie with Harrison Ford, it's kind of like a dream come true for an action fan. I didn't really care for the first Expendables. I loved the second one, and those first two are R-rated. This one is really, really, really over the top and fun as well. I mean, there's definitely some forced script elements and some cheesy and cliche moments, but overall, the action is really insane, and that I think is worth seeing if you're an action fan like I am.
And was the excitement about Harrison Ford being in the movie worth it, or is he just kind of walked through at a little cameo?
No, he has a big part in the movie. He's actually a really big section of the film. I don't want to give too much away, but he definitely gets involved in a lot of the action. That's all I'll say.
So what do you think? Is this summer's box office worse than last summer?
Last summer was a huge deal because you had Star Trek, you had Fast and Furious, you had Man of Steel, you had Despicable Me 2. This summer has been great for films, in my opinion, but box office wise, look at Transformers 4. It made over $1 billion worldwide already. That did very well. And Guardians of the Galaxy, they're saying, could save the summer overall, considering it made all of its production budget back essentially in one weekend worldwide. Made like $160 million, I believe, in its opening weekend. Huge numbers there. Now, quality-wise, I think this has been an amazing summer. I think Boyhood is an absolute masterpiece, and I know you and I agree on that. I thought that Captain America 2, I know that was in April, that was a phenomenal film. I loved X-Men Days of Future Past. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy was an absolute brilliant film, considering that it came out with no backing. This movie did 94 just domestically without the backing of an Avengers film, without the backing of a Captain America film as well. So just the idea that we were introduced to these characters essentially for the first time, unless you read the comics, I thought that James Gunn did a brilliant job of kind of making that film accessible to all audiences, not just fans of that comic book, which are very limited in my opinion.
Guardians of the Galaxy surprised me.
The idea that Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel were not even on set for any of those sequences. They did all their voice work in sound booths later on in the production. That to me is amazing, considering that the natural flow of their conversations sounds so realistic. And for people who've seen the movie now, one of the cool things about it is Vin Diesel. He only has 3 words in the entire film. Technically 5 if you count the "We Are Groot" moment. But in the script, it said, "I am Groot" on the left side, and on the right side, it actually wrote out in paragraph form what each "I am Groot" meant. So there, he could inflect in certain ways, and then we gather what he means by that by Bradley Cooper's reaction as Rocket. So, I don't know, I thought it was a very fascinating movie. The visuals are amazing. And it's one of the films that I do recommend seeing in IMAX, because he actually expands the IMAX shots during a lot of the action. The Dark Knight did the exact same thing, where it blew up to like 65 millimeter and then back down to regular during the IMAX scenes. It was really, really cool.
So Memorial Day is big for Hollywood, 4th of July is big for Hollywood, but Labor Day, really not so much, right?
Yeah, 4th of July is a big one. Labor Day is not really generally a huge summer time for movies, but like I'm telling you right now, my most anticipated movie of the year, hands down, no question, is Interstellar. And we're going to be seeing that in November. It's Christopher Nolan's new movie. It's about space travel, and you have Matthew McConaughey and Jessica Chastain, Anne Hathaway. I think that's going to be the best movie of the year. Again, just based on the trailers and based on the talent involved, it looks incredible. I've heard it's the best thing Nolan's ever done, even better than The Dark Knight.
Well, when you see Arnold, tell him I'll be back.
I'll definitely tell him that, Rusty. And it's always good to talk to you, and please stay in touch. I'd love to come on your show again.
Well, we'd love to have you back on the show again. And another movie buff. He goes to the theater. How often do you go to the theater, Mike?
Maybe once a year.
Oh, see?
You know, I don't know whether I'm just getting older, I'm becoming one of those angry old men, or people are just getting worse in the theater. But my wife and I just can't stand to sit next to people who are just... I mean, they're not quiet like you in the theater.
Right.
Just sitting there
they're
absorbing
texting,
the film.
they're talking.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Oh.
No,
so what's the last good movie you've seen?
You know, actually, we kind of go to documentaries now at like Lagoon and things like that.
I'm with you. I love that.
I'm trying to think of like the big blockbuster that we've seen. I mean, it's been years, I think.
Well, go see, you mentioned you had interest in Boyhood. Go see Boyhood.
Yes, I've heard so much about that. That looks great. A great concept.
Yeah, and incredible. He pulled it off shooting a movie over a 12-year period.
Yeah.
And the boy actually grows up.
It's the same actor
within
through the
this
years.
story. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, MacMen. And then when we come back, we're going to hear about Mike and how he's been growing up with Angela. Together. They just work together. That's all they do. Anyway, we'll be right back. If you have Mac computers or iPhones and iPads, you know how great they are. I'm Rusty Gatenby with the Rusty Gatenby Review with Melinda Jacobs. We want to thank MacMen, our show sponsors. You know what? There are times when your iPod or iPhone needs some troubleshooting or repair, and no one likes to unplug, pack up, and haul their computer system across town or through a mall. Hell no. That's where MacMen comes in. They make house calls. They'll come to your home or office to solve your computer problems, set up your network, train you on software solutions, or even replace the smashed screen on your iPhone or iPad. Check them out at www.macmen.it. That's macmen.it, or call 612-345-8005.
Mike and I have been working together forever, it seems. We even finish each other's...
Sandwiches?
No. Sentences.
We know it.
There they are. The dynamic duo, Mike and Angela.
That kind of sums it up.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do finish each other's sandwiches.
Do you?
Yeah.
What is the deal? Because you worked together at Channel 5 in a couple of different shows. You worked on the morning show.
Morning show and weekend. Before that, it was weekends. And then she had left to go to Dallas, but she came back to join the morning team at Channel 5. And then she left to go to Channel 4, and I left to go to Channel 4.
What, did I? Was it me?
No. We loved working with Rusty. As I recall, Angela and I just kind of did a little news stories here and there just to space out the Rusty segments, while people biding time so we could get back to more Rusty.
That is how it went.
That's how he recalls it. Yeah.
Describe, because that's unique to the news world to have someone that you keep connecting with, you keep hooking up.
Well, I think so. Maybe not unique, but it's rare, I think.
Yeah.
We have that relationship where we are very comfortable with each other.
Right.
We're not trying to outdo each other. As you might have heard, there are some egos in the TV business.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't know.
How is Frank Vassalero doing?
Wait a second.
what?
He's my buddy. Leave him alone.
He's my buddy, too.
No, I love him.
But so often you put people together and they are trying to outdo the other person,
Right.
and they don't want to let the other person get any kind of credit, and it's just toxic, and it ends up being a very bad... But Angela and I, we just have this comfort level with each other. We recognize that we have different strengths, and those strengths come together to kind of make a better product than the two of us individually.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think outside of work, you guys would have formed a friendship, or are you two completely different characters?
I don't think without this job that we probably would have had that opportunity. I'm so glad that we did, but no, we have so many differences, just from our background, family history, things like that. But it just works.
Yeah.
Chemistry is hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done radio, I've done TV, and it's very hard when you find somebody that you can just, that when you're having an off day, they have an on day.
Yes.
So they go, hello.
I'm waiting for my on day.
No, you're both on today.
Thanks to Melinda.
No, but I mean, it really is, and I think it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And so, what's happening now? What's the gig? You're all over the place.
So and I like it. I've got a really good mix. So I co-anchor with Liz Collin on Saturday nights. I co-anchor with Angela on Sunday nights, and then 2 days a week I get to do the Finding Minnesota segment where I'm traveling around the different part of the state. And since I'm traveling so far, I shoot it in one day, and then I come back, write it the next day, and then set up my next one.
Wow.
And then I have one day where I'm just kind of general assignment, wherever they want to send me.
And what is that I see? I see the State Fair just around the corner.
Yes.
Double booked.
We love the State Fair.
You'll be out there all the time?
Actually, I'm only going to be out there a couple of times this year. I've got Labor Day weekend off, so it's one weekend. I'm going to be doing a couple of shows out there, and then we have in the WCCO booth where you can come by and pose for pictures, and I'll be doing that a couple of times as well.
All right, enough about you. Again, Googling you, Mike has a brother, and he's kind of a famous brother, and I don't know if you're aware of this, but he's an anchor, he's a married man, he's a nice guy, he evidently is running for circuit judge. And then there's...
Are you kidding?
Have you heard of the Binkley brothers? These guys are musicians.
Oh, no.
The Binkley brothers. Check this. You can Google it. It's there's music from the Binkley brothers. I like it. It's not quite rap.
No, it's not rap.
Pretty sure this is you.
Really?
I think it's disco, right? A little bit.
Way back in the archives for this one.
The Binkley brothers. Check it out. Is that you or Greg?
I think that's Uncle Festus.
Did you know there was a Binkley
No,
brothers?
I did not. I did. One time I was in Indianapolis, and there's a Binkley's Kitchen and Bar, which actually was a very trendy, cool restaurant, and I bought a cap and a T-shirt from there.
Just to be clear, this is not you and
This
Greg.
is not my family.
Oh,
no.
all right.
I didn't want to say anything, but it was taking the whole sexy thing away from you.
Mike does have a brother who I've been fortunate enough to meet a couple of times, and for people who don't know, Greg Binkley, he does a heck of a Barney Fife, and he's been doing it for a while now.
Yeah, decades.
But here's some video of him doing Barney.
You kids, get them bicycles off the sidewalk! At the end of my rope, Andy. Next time I'm going to give them a citation.
For riding bicycles on the sidewalk?
Andy, the first sign a kid's going bad, you've got to nip it. Nip it in the bud.
When did he realize, or when did you hear that he was doing this?
You know, we were a family who grew up in Kansas, and so the Andy Griffith Show was one of our
huge.
favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not just a Midwestern
No,
thing,
it's not.
like Kansas thing, but yeah, we all loved that show, and he was like an early teenager when he started picking up on the Barney thing. So he did that actually in high school.
You're saying he was a chick magnet.
Worked every time. Kept one bullet in his pocket. But though, yeah, so he ended up going off to Hollywood, and Rick Dees, do you remember him?
The
DJ
the Countdown.
from Rick Dees Countdown.
We're gonna see a little bit of that in a second. First, cue up when he actually got to meet Don Knotts, at least once. We have it on video. Here, check this out.
How do you do on those conventions?
I can't accept bribes, so I take nothing.
What do you think of Greg? Was that a pretty good impersonation, did you think, Don?
Oh, he's wonderful. I wish I could do that.
So now here comes the Rick Dees stuff. This is, again, a highlight reel of Greg doing Barney. So this is how it started with Rick Dees?
Rick Dees Show, late night show. And he was Barney Fife Jr. in charge of security.
For a while, was it a full-time thing, being Barney Jr.?
It was. He started dreaming about where this could take him. I remember his story was, someday I'm going to be on the Tonight Show, and I'm gonna tell the story of when he actually did this as a restaurant too. There was a restaurant called Ed DeBevick's, and he was one of the waiters dressed as Barney Fife. At one time, he asked a woman for her ID.
He's on the Tonight Show right here in this clip.
Oh, that's right, exactly.
I love this one.
So anyway, he was a waiter, and what happened?
Well, so he went up to a table, and one of his shticks was to go up and ask people for ID. So he went up to this woman and asked for her ID, and she immediately bared one of her breasts. And his immediate comeback was, I'm going to have to see 2 forms of identification. He was dying to tell that story on The Tonight Show. So one time Jay Leno used him in this bit, but he didn't get to be interviewed and sit on the couch.
It's the worst when you've got that thing that you just know is going to take you over the top.
Well, let's before we leave Greg, cue up his other stuff, because he's done more than just be Barney Fife Jr. He's been on a couple of hit shows. Starting off here is a clip from My Name is Earl.
Yep.
He was on that show. But what are some of the other gigs he's had? Some big shows.
Well, so the same producers of this show, My Name is Earl, also produced the later show Raising Hope on Fox, and he was a regular on that, and his name appeared in the credits every single weekend as well. I got to visit him on the set, and it's just fascinating to see how they do that.
Have I told you my friend is Steve Levitan?
You might have mentioned that. Yeah.
He's in Modern Family show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then there's Malcolm in the Middle, and how's he doing now? Is he still? He was also in a Coen Brothers movie.
Oh, he's in a Clint Eastwood movie. I'm like 1 degree of separation from Clint Eastwood, Angelina Jolie, Mel Brooks. He could drop a lot of names if he wanted to. But right now we're actually supposed to get together in our hometown to go see our parents next week. And he says he may not be able to make it because he has a line on a couple of other jobs. So that's the way it works.
The life of a working actor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you know what? He's working, and he's been doing it consistently. I mean, I have friends that, from both sides, they're working actors. They don't make the kind of big bucks.
Right.
And the ones that make the big bucks, and then all of a sudden it stops, and they're like, hello, what happened?
Yeah.
We could use security here at podcast headquarters, right? Barney Fife Jr.?
Yeah.
We could hire him, maybe?
Sure.
We'll get into that story later.
Yeah, all the fans outside of here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what are you saying?
I'm saying. We need crowd control.
So, the gig, you and I worked together, and you actually left the business for a while.
I did.
And describe that.
It was, it reached that point where I had been at KSTP for 20 years, and I felt like I wanted a break. I wasn't sure that I wanted to keep doing this, actually.
Yeah.
So I started my own company, a video company called What's Your Story?
Yeah.
Do you want me to tell that story?
I don't know. Do you?
Well, I mean, it was an interesting concept, and I wish more people would do it. But I had baby boomers who were hiring me to sit down and interview their parents or their grandparents and tell their story in about 30 minutes or so, and mixing in videos. You know, it's just capturing the facial expressions, the voice, their stories especially. I mean, it's just so important.
Sounds great.
I just went around urging people to do that. If they're not going to hire somebody, just do it yourself. Set up a camera, talk to them, and share their stories.
With your dad, you should do that.
I would love to do that.
I did that with my dad. I actually signed all 4 of my kids. They had little reporter notebooks that somehow, I don't know how they got in my car from Channel 5, but I happened to end up with 4 reporter notebooks.
Yeah.
They can't get back to me now, can they? There's a statute of limitations.
Oh, the incriminating stuff.
4 little reporter notebooks, and they filled out questions, and they went, and my dad, we kind of surprised him. He didn't know what was going to be happening, and they interviewed him. Everything from, Reed was the youngest, you know, who was your best friend when you were growing up? You know, stuff like that.
Great stuff.
Yeah, awesome stuff. So I still have all that on video. But then, like Godfather 3, television sucked you back in.
It did. I mean, it was a great opportunity. It was 2008. We were in a recession. People weren't hiring, but thankfully, you know, this opportunity came along. It was a chance to reunite with Angela on the morning show, and I took it. And so it's been 6 years now. I've been back at WCCO.
And do you have an end game? Are you going to be Bud Kraling?
You want me to announce that here?
No, yes, actually.
No, I'm thinking about it. I might just give it a couple more years.
Yeah.
You know, I'm reaching that point where that will be an even 35 years for me in the business, which is a long time.
30, I mean, that's...
Yeah, for somebody to be on the air. So it's, but I've just signed another 2-year contract, so I'm going to be doing it for a couple more years.
Yeah.
Freshly signed?
Uh-huh.
All right, congratulations.
Do I get to tell my Mike Binkley story? Please, I've been chomping at the bit.
I want the details on this, so go ahead.
Okay, so I saw you at the station, and I said you were leaving that afternoon to go out with your friends out to Lake Minnetonka. And I said, hey, I'm going to take my boat out. Let's go out. Let's meet up. And you said, is it okay if I bring a friend of mine, which was Steve Hartman. He had just started.
Heard of him?
Yeah.
Yes.
God, is he doing well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So at the time, I was dating somebody named Greg Soderbeer, who was in limited warranty, but he was on tour. And I thought, he's on tour? I'm single? Let's make things happen. So I felt like, wait. So we all went on the boat. We had a great time. And honestly, I was like, oh, God, I'm torn between Mike and Steve. What do I do? Well, it ended up being that you were in your right mind. You went home safely. Steve and I, on the other hand, took a cab. And he had to do the, what do they call that? The walk of shame back to KSTP the next day because nothing happened. I swear, people, absolutely nothing happened. However, he didn't have a change of clothes. So he went back to the station and there was a memo. There was a memo the next day saying nobody's allowed to be seen that's on air on Jacob's boat anymore because apparently all the people at Lord Fletcher's saw all of us running around and having a good time. Thank God there was no cell phones. There was no texting.
No Facebook.
No Facebook. Nothing. So it all stays within here. But it was a wonderful time.
It did for a while.
It did for
how many years?
Hey, there's more, but trust me, I'm keeping that inside.
Steve is now calling HR at CBS. See, here's the deal. I don't know this woman.
Exactly.
So, thanks again for coming in and joining our little party.
I sensed your desperation, so wow.
Wally the beer man, last second, he bagged out.
So I'm always there on reserve.
You are? All right, what are you doing next weekend then? I'll probably see you at the State Fair.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Say hello to your wife, Mary.
Oh, yeah, great to see you all again.
It's good to see you, too. And those baby blues never age. Look at them. I can't even, really.
How old are you?
56.
Are you really?
Yeah.
30 in my book.
Wow.
Yeah.
High five on that, mister.
Thank you very much.
You are still my friend.
Yes.
We'll see you at the State Fair, I guess.
All right. Thanks for having me.
We're both going to be there. Jennifer will be there, too.
I will be there.
She's engaged.
The better half.
Thanks, Mike. See you guys next time.
Thank you.